In this lecture, we are going to see Jacques Derrida and his solution to postmodern problem. Jacques Derrida and his solution to postmodern problem. Till now, what we are studying is postmodernism and postmodern postmodern view on ideas, knowledge, narratives, discourses, ISA, ideological state apparatus. All these terms are similar, right? Postmodern view on ideas, knowledge, narratives, discourses, or ideological state apparatus is of a limitation, whereby postmodernist will say you are limited by the knowledge which is being fed to you, right? So postmodern view see all these terms as limiting or states attempt to control you, right? So knowledge for postmodern scholars, ideas for postmodern scholars is is limiting, is controlling. Now, you, me, anyone who has studied, we all know that knowledge is not really controlling. It is not really controlling. It is emancipatory, right? To to bring out that emancipatory nature of knowledge again and getting ahead of ourselves and get ahead of limiting factor of knowledge, controlling factor of knowledge, Derrida suggests one thing. He suggests deconstruction of knowledge. Deconstruction of knowledge. Why? To get away from limiting nature of knowledge. Derrida is the solution of all postmodern scholars. Derrida is the solution, right? Derrida is the solution. Deconstruction of knowledge and getting ahead of or not being limited to limiting or controlling nature of knowledge, which postmodern scholars is trying to say. How do you deconstruct knowledge, right? How do you deconstruct knowledge according to Derrida? He means read texts in two readings. First, in first reading, you deconstruct text, and in second reading, you reconstruct. What does it mean? In first reading, you understand the text. In second reading, you understand the meaning behind those words, right? So that you are not limited to the text. You are not limited to your understanding of the text. You are understanding the text in holistic manner, right? And what it will do, what double reading will do? Double reading will do one thing. It will democratize knowledge. Democratization of knowledge, right? This is what Derrida is trying to say. To to get ahead of limiting factors of knowledge, to get ahead of limiting factors of narratives, read them twice. Read text twice. In first reading, you read the text itself. In second reading, you try to reconstruct the meaning of the text, right? And this is this concept of double reading. Double reading. Double reading, right? So, double reading is Derrida's solution of postmodern idea of limitation of knowledge, right? Double reading. It is his solution. Now we are going to understand some concept which were given by Derrida in in effort to uh, talk about language itself. What is the problem? What is the problem with postmodern scholars that knowledge is limiting? How do you How do you propagate knowledge, or how do you convey your knowledge to someone else by means of language? Derrida has attacked the all core of this all, that is language, right? So some key concepts of Derrida. First key concept, all this concept has been, first key concept is logocentrism. Second key concept is aporia. Third key concept is defer and difference. And we have already read double reading. We are going to understand double reading in more detail, but still we have at least seen some of it, right? We are studying key concepts of Derrida, whereby Derrida attacks Derrida attacks the core the core of how you propagate knowledge or how you convey knowledge to someone else. It is language, and Derrida attacks language in his book in his book Structures, Sign and Play. In the discourse of human sciences. Structures, Sign and Play, in the discourse of human sciences. This is his book, right? Structure, Science and Play. Structure, Science and Play, right? So what does Derrida is trying to say in this book, or what is Derrida trying to challenge in this book? It is the very core of language itself, right? We have actually studied this concept of structuralism. We have actually seen this view or this word structuralism in reading Althusser before, whereby Althusser brings out this concept of linguistics. Althusser brings out the concept of structuralism from science of language, and structuralism is actually concept that was given originally by Saussure, Ferdinand Saussure, right? Derrida challenged this concept of structuralism. Derrida, by challenging the concept of structuralism, Derrida challenged the language itself, right? Derrida challenged the language itself, right? What does structuralism mean? Structuralism means that there is a signifier and there is signified, right? Signifier is word and signified is meaning of it, right? The word lion or the word pen will paint you an image of a lion in your mind and will paint you image of a pen in your mind, right? So structuralism means this. In linguistics, in science of language, there are these two words, signifier and signified, which means there is a signifier which leads to something, which represents something, right? A pen will represent a pen, a lion will represent a lion, right? So the language, the language is is trying to language is trying to show things as they are, right? This is the first nature of language. This is the first nature of language, right? That language is trying to convey to you what a word mean. Like a bottle will mean a bottle, a laptop will paint a certain picture in your mind, right? This is the first nature of language. The second nature of language is that the concepts, the concepts or the words are developed as binary opposites, right? Binary opposites. Words are developed as binary opposites, right? These are two major features of language, right? What happens with such a language where there is a signifier, there is a signified, and a word is trying to show a particular thing, right? A word is trying to show a particular thing, a particular object, and concept or words are developed as binary opposites, right? Concept or words are developed as binary opposites. When these two things happen, when these two things happens, the problem that emerges with language is that it is limited. It is limited. How it is limited? It is limited because if I am saying that person is a lion and that lion is person like, right? These two words, these two sentences are confusing. What these two sentences are trying to say is kind of confusing. So language is confusing because language itself is limited and language itself is trying to convey something. So there can be confusion between one who is communicating and one who is being communicated to, right? So because of language, there is communication gap, right? Because of language, there is communication gap, right? So imagine a situation whereby this person, this public speaker is speaking to a crowd of 1,000 people, right? And this person says, that India is a great country, right? This is being communicated. India is a great country. Now, what each of these 1,000 people will paint in their minds, is it in hand of the speaker or the listener? Speaker has spoke something, but but the understanding that one develops or the understanding that one has of what is being spoken, what is being written, it is not in hand of the speaker or writer, it is in hand of listener or reader, right? So this is the problem of language. What you want to say and what one understands are two different things, right? Language creates a communication gap. You cannot convey your thoughts. You cannot convey your thoughts as they are because language has its limitations, right? So to solve this problem of language, to solve this problem of language, what does Derrida do? Derrida gives concept of double reading. Derrida gives concept of double reading in his book Deconstruction of Grammatology in 1967. Deconstruction of Grammatology in 1967, whereby he gives first concept of logocentrism. Right? Logocentrism. What does logocentrism mean? Logocentrism. What does logo mean? Logo means rationality. Logos. In Greek, logo means rationality or reason in Greek, right? So logocentrism mean what? Logocentrism mean what? We try to rationalize things as per our understanding. We try to rationalize things as per our understanding, right? And all meanings have equal probability. I will again go back to this example whereby a speaker is speaking to a crowd of 1,000 people, whereby speaker says that we are serving a biryani, right? Some of these people will think it is a veg biryani. Some of other people think it is a non-veg biryani. Some of other people think some people think that it is something else. Some people think it is a pulao, right? So we are serving a biryani have all these meanings, and these people have rationalized this statement this statement according to their own understanding, according to their own rationality, right? So this is logocentrism, that we try to understand things as per our own rationality, right? We try to understand things as per our own rationality. We try to rationalize things as per our own preferences, right? But it does not mean that other people do not have uh, their meaning invalidated. Every meaning has equal meaning. Every meaning has equal probability, right? I'll go back to again. This is Donald Trump. Donald Trump is speaking to America. He's speaking to America that I want to make America great again. He's speaking this. Now, by speaking I want to make America great again, what can be different meanings of this? For Republicans, it can mean white supremacy. For blacks, it can mean going back to slavery. For Indians, it can mean going back to India, right? So this concept or this slogan that making America great again have different meaning for different persons according to their own rationality, own preferences, right? And all of them can be true all at once or not be true all at once, right? So logocentrism, it means that we have rationalized things as per our own preferences, right? The second concept is aporia. Aporia. Aporia means confusion or state of confusion. Aporia means state of confusion, right? There is this quote. There is this quote where there is this quote where uh, there is this quote. What this quote goes like? It goes like this. It goes like this: that the more you know, the less you understand. The more you know, the less you understand, right? So knowing more makes you understand less. And what aporia means is that question things, right? Question things, uh, try to understand a concept, then re-understand a concept, right? Have get deeper meaning of the concept, right? Get the deeper meaning of the concept. Aporia. The more you know, the less you understand. It is not about knowing a thing to its finality, but knowing things and keeping yourself engaged, right? Keeping yourself engaged to the dialectics, to the debate, right? So aporia is state of confusion. Then his next concept is defer and difference. These two are French word. It in English these are differ and difference. Differ and difference. This two sound the same but have different meaning. What does defer mean? Defer means to ignore or to let go. Difference or difference means between two entities. What is the difference? Differ means to let go, or defer means to uh, let go or to ignore. Difference means difference between two different things, right? So these two concept or these two words sound same but they have different meaning. This is what the problem of language is, that word can sound the same but they have different meaning, right? Bed and bad, right? Red and red, right? Have similar pronunciations but have different meaning. This is the issue with language, that words even though sounding are same, they have different meaning, and it is actually a pun. It is a pun, right? Differ, difference. And by differ and difference, what what Derrida is trying to say is that writing is impure, speech is better or closer to logos, right? Speech is better, writing is impure, right? But both are equally bad, both are bad, but speech is somewhat better, right? In the next concept, he gives understanding of double reading, right? Double reading is very simple to understand. Deconstruct, read, deconstruct, destroy, reread, deconstruct, again destroy, right? Read once through a dominant point of view, right? And destroy that meaning out of your mind. Then again reread the same text from alternative point of view, and again destroy again try to deconstruct that meaning and destroy that from your mind, right? This is what double reading is, means as simple as possible, as simple as possible, right? So what is what is Derrida's view on language? What is Derrida's view on postmodernism in 3 words? In 3 or 4, to summarize in 3 or 4 lines, what will I say is Derrida's views on postmodernism? Derrida's views on language is, it means that meanings are fluid. There is no ultimate meaning, and as there is no ultimate meaning, no one should impose something on the other. Right. This is the first point. The second point is that text is written by author, but text belongs to the reader. Right. Text is not conveyed by author, but it is conveyed by readers to himself according to his own rationality. So text is in control of reader, not in control of author, because you are applying your own rationality to a certain text. Right. So text is not outside but inside the reader. Whatever it is being presented to a reader, the reader will apply his own understanding and try to understand the concept on his own. Author has no control over reader's understanding. Right. This is Derrida. We have understood Derrida in toto. Now we'll do the last concept of postmodernism, which is postcolonialism. Right. Again, postcolonialism will go back to essentializing meanings and essentializing knowledge, and try to liberate post-colonial world of such or essentializing or controlling knowledge. So this is what post-colonialism is. We are going to understand post-colonialism from the next lecture. I hope you understood uh, things till now. We'll get back to post-colonialism in the next lecture. Thank you so much. Bye bye.